Change your thinking, and you change your life. Your thoughts are not just silent whispers in your head. They are blueprints. They become the lens through which you see the world, the instructions your brain follows, and the energy you project into every room. If you believe you're limited, you act small. But if you believe you are capable, you open doors you never thought possible. Everything starts with how you think. Your mind is your most powerful tool, or your biggest trap. The way you interpret the world around you, whether with fear or with hope, shapes what you notice, what you pursue, and how you react. If you constantly expect the worst, you will rarely see the best. But if you train your mind to see possibility instead of limitation, your entire world starts to expand. Most people live in prisons built entirely out of thoughts. Thoughts like I'm not enough, it's too late, or nothing ever changes. But those walls aren't real. They feel real, but they're just patterns. Patterns can be broken. Change your thinking, and the prison doors swing wide open. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker behind the thoughts, the observer, the decider. The moment you realize this is the moment you reclaim your power. You can interrupt negativity, redirect anxiety, and reframe your challenges. You don't have to believe every thought you think. If you constantly think the same way, you'll keep living the same life. Real transformation doesn't start with new habits. It starts with new thinking. Changing your thoughts is the root, and from it, new actions, new emotions, and new outcomes can grow. Beliefs are just thoughts you've repeated enough times to accept as truth, but not every belief you hold is true. Some were handed to you by fear, society, or by past pain. Challenge them. Ask, is this belief serving me? If not, it's time to let it go and build a better one. You don't need to force confidence. You need to remove the thoughts that block it. Underneath all the doubt and worry is a natural belief in yourself that simply needs room to breathe. Clear the mental clutter and you'll find it again. Changing your thinking doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing how you interpret and respond to it. Two people can face the same challenge. One sees it as a wall, the other as a ladder. Be the one who climbs. Your thoughts create your emotional environment. Negative thinking makes a sunny day feel heavy. Positive, grounded thinking can bring peace even in storms. Change your internal weather, and the world outside feels different too. Fear often disguises itself as logic. It tells you don't try that, stay safe, play small. But not every cautious thought is wise. Many are just echoes from old wounds. Change your thinking, and you begin to separate fear from fact. The mind is a garden. What you plant grows. If you fill it with worry, criticism, and self-doubt, weeds take over. But if you plant faith, discipline, kindness, and vision, beauty grows. And tend to your thoughts like a garden, with care, daily. Changing your thinking doesn't always mean becoming more positive. Sometimes it means becoming more aware. Aware of what triggers you. Aware of what you assume. Aware of how you speak to yourself. Awareness is the first shift. From there, you gain the power to choose differently. Success begins in the mind long before it appears in your bank account, body, or relationships. If you can't picture it, believe in it, or feel worthy of it mentally, it's nearly impossible to create it physically. Think like the person you want to become, and then act accordingly. Stop thinking in limits. Think in terms of expansion. Instead of I can't afford this, ask how can I make this happen? Instead of I'm not ready, ask what's one step I can take right now. Question-shaped thinking. Better questions create better lives. Your mind is a constant storyteller. And the story it tells about you matters. Is it a story of a victim or of a fighter? Of someone stuck or someone growing? Rewrite the narrative. Make yourself the hero, not the hostage. Old thinking won't open new doors. You cannot create a new chapter in your life with the same mindset that kept you stuck in the last one. Every breakthrough demands a mental shift. Choose it. Practice it. Become it. Changing your thinking is hard, but so is staying stuck in the same cycle. You get to choose your hard, the discomfort of growth or the comfort of limitation. One leads to freedom, the other leads to regret. Don't believe every thought just because it's familiar. Familiar doesn't mean true. Many of your automatic thoughts were programmed by someone else. Take them off autopilot, reevaluate, rebuild. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to shift your thinking. It interrupts the cycle of scarcity and recenters you on abundance. No matter what's missing, something is still present. Notice it, name it, and watch your energy change. Negativity is loud, but your higher self speaks in calm tones. If you pause and listen, beneath the noise, there's wisdom. Cuckoo. A quiet truth reminding you that you are capable, resilient, and ready. Tune in. That voice never lies. Change your thinking from comparison to compassion. The more you measure yourself against others, the more you disconnect from your own path. Celebrate others, but stay rooted in your unique journey. The brain tends to protect, not progress. It loves comfort zones and safety loops. But you are not your brain, you are its master. Train it like a muscle. Feed it better thoughts. Push it past limits. It will adapt. When you think better, you speak better. And when you speak better, you live better. Your inner dialogue becomes your outer reality. Be mindful of the words you feed yourself. They are seeds that grow your life. You don't have to overhaul your whole mind in one day. Begin with one shift. One negative belief questioned. One kind thought repeated. One story reframed. Small mental rewrites become massive life revisions. Changing your thoughts about failure changes everything. It's not the end, it's data. It's redirection. It's progress in disguise. With the right mindset, failure becomes your greatest teacher, not your deepest wound. A growth mindset is built, not born. It's the result of choosing effort over ease, curiosity over certainty, and learning over ego. Start today. Start small. The mind expands with use. Forgiveness starts with thought. It's not about letting someone off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from mental chains. When you forgive, you unclog the space in your mind and heart for something better to grow. The thoughts you repeat become your identity. Tell yourself often enough that you're lazy, unlucky, or unworthy, and you'll begin to act accordingly. Tell yourself you're capable, resilient, and growing, and your life begins to match that belief. Thinking with purpose means slowing down, taking control of your mental energy. Asking, is this thought leading me toward who I want to be, or away from it? Direct your mind like a compass, not just a reaction machine. Changing your thinking doesn't guarantee instant change, but it guarantees that change becomes possible. It opens the door. It shifts the air. It sparks the action. It is the beginning of everything. You have the power to think differently and therefore live differently. The same mind that created doubt can create discipline. The same mind that saw limits can see opportunity. Don't underestimate the miracle of mental shift. Change your thinking and you don't just change your path. That's where you change your pace. When you shift from I'll never get there to I'm getting closer every day, progress accelerates. It's not because things magically become easier, but because belief fuels energy. Belief powers persistence. And once your mind is convinced, your body starts to follow. You must stop treating your thoughts like facts. Just because your mind says you're not ready doesn't make it true. Your brain repeats what it's used to, what it's heard, feared, or absorbed. You can override that programming. You can install new beliefs, more empowering narratives. Start speaking to yourself like someone you're responsible for helping. Thinking better doesn't mean pretending everything's okay. It means facing what's not okay with a mindset that says, I will grow through this. Pain isn't weakness. It's information. When your thoughts stop fearing discomfort, they begin using it as fuel. Growth isn't always pretty, but it's always powerful when the mind is aligned with it. You have the power to turn obstacles into opportunities, but only if you shift your perception. Start seeing setbacks as setups. Start seeing rejection as redirection. Start seeing failure as feedback. The moment your mind reframes the situation, your spirit gets stronger. Same circumstances, new thinking, different results. Change your thinking about time. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're supposed to be to begin again. The moment you stop measuring your life against other people's timelines is the moment you start living fully in your own. The strongest people in the world aren't the ones who avoid struggle. They're the ones who change the way they think about it. They see it as part of the process, not the punishment. They understand that the challenge is not in the way. It is the way. And so they walk through it with a different energy. When you start thinking like a creator instead of a victim, everything changes. You stop waiting for something to happen and start making something happen. You stop blaming and start building. The shift is simple, but it's not easy. Victim thinking comforts the ego. Creator thinking challenges it. There's nothing more dangerous than a mind convinced it's stuck. Because stuck is not a location, it's a mindset. As soon as you begin thinking in possibilities again, stuck begins to melt. Hope returns, and with hope comes movement. If you want to change your results, start by changing the mental questions you ask yourself. Instead of a why me, try what can I learn? Instead of a what if I fail, try what if I grow? Questions are powerful. They either paralyze or empower you. Ask better ones and your life starts to follow suit. Start thinking in terms of what's possible, not just what's familiar. Familiar can feel safe, but it can also be a trap. Growth always feels unfamiliar at first. That's how you know it's working. If your thoughts are always chasing comfort, your life will never stretch into greatness. You are not obligated to keep thinking thoughts that hurt you. Just because a belief has been with you for years doesn't mean it deserves to stay. You can thank it for trying to protect you, and then you can let it go. Not all old thoughts deserve a permanent seat at your table. The world you experience is filtered through the language in your mind. Words like always, a never, impossible. These are mental cages. Cages. Replace them with flexibility. Or maybe a sometimes now. Your vocabulary reveals your vision. Make sure your words leave room for growth. You've been trained to doubt yourself by voices, experiences, and fear. But now you get to train your mind to believe in you again. That begins by catching every self-critical thought and responding with truth. That's not who I am anymore. Or better yet, that's who I was. This is who I choose to be now. Let go of the myth that you have to be positive all the time. Changing your thinking isn't about toxic positivity. It's about empowering neutrality. It's about saying, this is hard, but I can handle it. Not sugarcoating, but strengthening. Let your thoughts be grounded in reality, but aimed at resilience. Every goal is first achieved in the mind. You must see it before you build it. Visualization isn't fantasy. It's mental training. It's mental training. It prepares your mind to believe what's possible. So when the opportunity comes, you act instead of doubt. Train your mind like you train your body consistently. Negative thoughts are sticky, but they're not permanent. They stay because you engage with them, argue with them, or believe them. But you can learn to observe them without attachment. Say, that's just a thought, and keep moving. That mental detachment is a game changer. You were not born thinking small. That was taught to you. And what was taught can be unlearned. Look at children. They dream big, speak freely, try without fear. That spirit still lives in you. You just have to clear the dust and give it permission to breathe again. Changing your mindset is not a one-time decision. It's a daily discipline. You don't just decide once and be done. You have to wake up each day and choose to think higher, speak better, expect more. It's mental hygiene. Practice it like brushing your teeth. There is no growth without resistance. So when your new thinking starts to feel uncomfortable, that's not a sign you're doing it wrong. That's a sign you're evolving. Your brain is adjusting to a new standard. Keep going. That friction means the old version of you is fading. Your mind adapts to the environments you feed it. If you constantly absorb negativity, comparison, and fear, your thoughts will mirror that. Nice. But if you feed your mind inspiration, education, peace, and challenge, it will evolve. You don't just become what you eat. You become what you think. Changing your thoughts also means changing your inputs. Your circle, your media, your conversations, garbage in, garbage out. Protect your mental ecosystem. Be intentional about what you allow into your mental space. The way you think about problems shapes how you solve them. If you think of every challenge as a wall, you'll spend your life looking for ways around it. But if you think of problems as puzzles, you stay curious, and curiosity breeds creativity. The difference between anxiety and excitement is often how you interpret the sensation. Your body feels similar in both, but your thoughts determine whether you shrink or rise. Reframe the nerves. Reframe the nerve. Say, this means I care. This means I'm ready. A big part of changing your thinking is learning to trust yourself again. That trust was broken by failure, by fear, by inconsistency. But it can be rebuilt. Show up for yourself. Keep your word. Do what you say you'll do. Trust follows. Mental discipline is the skill of redirecting your focus. Not avoiding tough thoughts, but choosing which ones deserve your attention. Don't let your mind wander anywhere it wants. Guide it like a leader. It will thank you with results. Some thoughts feel like truth simply because they're loud. But volume doesn't equal validity. Learn to question the thoughts that shout at you. Often the quiet thoughts, the ones that whisper potential, are the ones worth listening to. Changing your thinking often means changing your identity. Not who you are, but who you believe you are. You're not a bad with money, always anxious, or are not disciplined. Those are stories. You can write new ones, starting today. When your mind believes it's growing, it stops fearing failure. Why? Because failure becomes part of learning, not a sign of your worth. A growth mindset doesn't eliminate fear, but it puts it in perspective. Instead of saying, I have to, start thinking, I get to. That one shift changes everything. I have to go to the gym becomes I get to move my body. Gratitude changes attitude, and attitude changes outcomes. You are one thought away from a new emotion, one belief away from a new behavior, one decision away from a new direction. That's the power of the mind. Use it, and your life will follow your lead. Changing your thinking is not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you truly are beneath the fear, the noise, and the limits you've been taught. It's about reclaiming your power, one thought at a time. When you shift your mind, you shift your choices. When you shift your choices, you shift your destiny. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are evolving. And it all begins with the thoughts you choose to believe today. The future isn't waiting. It's listening. So think boldly, think freely, and begin again. Stronger, clearer, and more you than ever before.